Welcome to this video. Today we talk about how we can navigate the risk when we conduct business across borders. Expanding business to another country is good for the growth of the company. But at the same time, it is important to understand the various risks that we encounter. It could be political, economic, cultural, social, and so many other ways. It could be legal, it could be an operational risk, simply put, or it could be financial risk. We will see that in detail. Political risk are nothing but the changes in the government policies, changes in the law, changes in the regulation that affects our business across the border. It could affect our operations, it could affect our investments, it could affect the way we will be able to bring back the money in the form of dividend or royalty or even capital repatriation. Economic risks. These are the fluctuations in the foreign exchange, the currency rate, the changes in the interest rate, the inflation rates of the country, and because of which the value of the money or the investment could change. These could affect the profitability as well as the cash flow. Then comes the cultural risk. Cultural risk are differences in cultural norms, differences in the value system in the society, or differences even in the business practices. This could lead to misunderstanding or miscommunication. There could be trade restrictions, there could be tariffs, and there could be subsidies for other countries which will act against our interests, and there could also be quota related issues. The economic risks, as we have discussed, are currency fluctuation, inflation, or interest rate volatility. The cultural risks are the changes in the norms or misunderstanding of the norms of different societies in which we try to be there as a business partner. The local customs, or our not having enough knowledge of the local customs, our ignorance could create problems. The more familiar we are with the customs, the more easy it could be. Coming to legal risk, these are nothing but the variations in the legal system or the interpretation of the law or the regulation, and this could create a compliance challenge because the way we understand the legal provision may not necessarily be the same the way it is implemented overseas. So there is a potential for disputes. Now comes the operational risk. Operational risk could happen either at the corporate end or at the bank's end or at the regulator's end or anywhere else because of the misunderstandings or gaps or misinterpretations of the provisions. So managing the supply chain, managing the logistics, managing the distribution network, managing the dealers and distributors could be a big challenge which could result in disruptions. So that risk has to be properly handled in the supply chain angle when we have a cross-border trade. Also, the operational risk could affect the cash flow. The cash may not get credited the day you expect because of the small simple problems which are overlooked. The financial risk could also be access to finance when you need an emergency working capital or when you have an excess cash flow which needs to be temporarily placed for earning some money, and these risks or these issues needs to be handled properly. And for mitigation of this, maybe you will have to go for maybe forward contracts, options and futures, or hedging and things like that. Then comes the most important of all, which is the reputation risk. The reputation risk is the companies may face problems if they are not familiar with the local requirements or local understanding of the social, cultural, economic behavior of the country in which we tend to operate. So our perceptions or our assumptions need not necessarily be in tune with, in line with the local realities. So the corporate needs to be sensitive to the local concerns. The cultural gap should not create any big jerks. Then comes a security risk. The security risk could be for the corporate property or for the personnel. It could be for the assets. It could even be intellectual property. Then comes the environment risk. The environment risk is a major aspect today because everybody goes at the SDGs of the United Nations. So the companies may face risks related to climate change or sustainability in a foreign land. So we need to seek expert guidance and consult experts to see how we can handle the compliance risk, and economic risk. Thanks for watching this video. We will come back with how to handle this risk in the trade finance arena.